Hey everyone, welcome to the Bedroom Gear Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing this Jackson Soloist SLX Crackle in the neon orange Crackle finish. So let's get to it. Today we're just going to be demoing the sounds of it. I don't have a song prepared, unfortunately, because not enough time, but let's talk about the specs of this guitar. It's a solid body. It has a basswood body. It's a gloss finish. It has a one-piece maple neck, a thin U shape. It has a 12 to 16 inch compound for the radius. The fingerboard is laurel. Never knew that was that. I always thought it was rosewood until I looked up the actual specs. It's got its proloid shark fin finish. 24 frets, jumbo fret, 25.5 inch scale length. It's the Floyd Rose Special Locking Tremolo. It's got its own Jackson CO diecast tuners. In the for the pickups, we got a Duncan Design HB 103 bridge humbucker and a Duncan Design HB 103N humbucker in the neck. Otherwise, it's a one tone, one master volume, a 3-way switch, and that's pretty much as it gets. Pretty simple. Let's get to the sounds. I'm using my Kemper for the sound. I'm using my band's presets that we use. So let's do that. So we'll go over the cleans first. It's all playing just on the top of my head. So we're gonna start off with the neck pickup. Middle pickup. Messed that up, but oh well. We have the neck pickup finally. Okay, and we have that. Let's get some ambient tones on here. Let's see what I can play. Let's put the same thing on the neck pickup. Now the middle pickup. Now the neck. And let's move on to some chugging rhythm tones. So let's see. middle pickup. The neck pickups. Let's do some leads. Do some leads on the bridge pickup. On the middle pickup. Now for the neck. That's the general sounds of this guitar. This isn't my guitar actually. I'm borrowing it from a friend, as I mentioned in a previous video. How I got this guitar is basically my band Convoluted Planes decided to play a cover show for Sum 41. So being the metalhead I am, I really don't have, out of like my 11 guitars, any guitars set up for standard tuning, and I didn't really feel like setting it up. So then I asked one of my good friends if I could borrow his guitar, and in return, like, I'll set it up and everything for him. Ironically, because I never owned or really set up a Floyd Rose guitar, but I think I got it pretty good. I mean, bridges action is pretty low now. It's pretty straight. But he did ask for me to set it up because he said as soon as he took it out of the box, he kind of like dive bombed, and it went all out of tune. And when I found out, it was because either on the B string, either one of the screws wasn't really tight enough for to grasp the string, so pretty much the string just popped out, you know. And that's pretty much what I noticed as soon as I picked it. I was like, the string's not in. But otherwise, so yeah, I borrowed his guitar, I set it up, and then I figured I might as well review it since I have it in my hand. The funny story is how he got the guitar. So I guess some could say I'm quite business savvy when it comes to building artist relationships and whatnot. So what happened was he asked me about how I got mines and whatnot, how I got some of my endorsements and whatnot. So then when he asked, I told him what I did and whatnot, and he said because he actually went to the NAMM show, and when he went to the NAMM show, he was like, yeah, I was just signing up for all these things, not thinking anything about it. And he said when he went to the Jackson booth and he played, there, and then they're like, oh, you should like get the guitar when he was playing it, but then us being broke musicians were like, oh, we can't afford it. And then he was saying that they told him, was like, oh, what if we like send it to you? I mean, he didn't really think much of it, and then they kept trying to like inquire that they're gonna send it, but he kind of doubted it, because generally like it's not like he's a huge musician or everything and everyone knows him. It's just kind of like an average Joe kind of guy. So like, even if it was me, I wouldn't expect that they're gonna do anything. I mean, you could hope, but yeah. So then he says he got home from his trip, and then he got this guitar in a box waiting for him. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So he got a nice little gift from Jackson. So thank you for that, Jackson, being very good to my friend. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, play this guitar review wise, like if I was to go over it, I really like this guitar. It's a very interesting thing. Personally, it's not my color. I would just like it if it was just a normal black guitar, but I mean, if you're gonna get a guitar sent to you, I'll take anything, I guess, but it's not mine. So like I said, generally the one thing I do like about it, I really like this neck, the profile of it. I think that's what people really like about Jackson, is that they have this really thin, fast neck, and I really like it. I might even get a Jackson myself, maybe in the future when I can afford it, but I just recently bought a PRS, so maybe later. But yeah, I really like this neck. My only gripe is that because it's a gloss finish, it's a gloss neck, so it's a little bit sticky. Otherwise, I think it would have been perfect if it was more like a matte finish neck or satin finish neck. So what other things do I like about this guitar? I think the pickups are pretty decent for this. Like when I was practicing, it sounded really great live and whatnot. Maybe might do some tweaking for recording, but I think this is some generally decent, good pickups for a stock guitar. I guess you could say the tone, the switches are really responsive to everything. The only thing, well, I guess for me it's that bothers me is that probably the flutter rose, but I'm not really used to flutter roses because most of my guitars are hardtail or string through, so I'm not really used to having the bridge. But otherwise, like it's actually really comfortable to play. But yeah, I'm still getting used to putting the pressure on it, but it's not like I'm like digging so far, like where I play it's like, it's not like I'm doing anything like that. So I mean, I'll get used to it. But otherwise, like if I had to say the cons about this guitar, there's only a few, but it couldn't, well, it's debatable. So on this guitar, there's a few like dings on it, like pretty, I wouldn't say pretty bad, but really noticeable once you like see it. It's those two, and I think that was it. I can't remember. There was a few things I noticed on it. So there was that, and then obviously the bridge with the screws not being tightened to keep the strings. That was a problem. Another problem is that this tremolo little piece right here, that's generally where you put the bar in and dive. I noticed that it gets very loose, like because for flutter roses you can tighten it and then they'll stay in like one place like that, like no matter what you do. But I realized like if I just like dive it once or maybe like a couple times, it'll get really loose and it'll just be like wobbling, and I know that's not generally supposed to do that. So like, and then you can actually like shake it, so that's why I don't really have the tremolo in, because I don't want to have to deal with that. So that's why I kept it open, because so I can always like tighten it. And me being not an expert in taking this whole thing apart, I'm not gonna like take it all apart and just like tighten it on the back. So yeah, that's my one gripe. I mean, if you're not doing dive bombs all the time or using the tremolo bar all the time, then it shouldn't be a problem. And I guess the only other like real issue, if you're trying to be like a stickler, is that some of the little bindings aren't that great. You can see some flaws in the finish on the neck binding. I mean, but that's really about it. Does it affect playability? No, I wouldn't notice it if I wasn't looking for it. But yeah, but generally the edges are really like rounded. It feels really nice. It doesn't feel like you're grabbing like, it's like it like contours to your hand almost. Like it feels comfortable. Like, yeah, it's like, it's not like, I'm not sure if you guys ever played like a guitar, like the neck feels great, but like when you, as soon as you like hold it like that, it feels like you're holding this really awkward sharp chunk of wood and it kind of like digs into your thumb a little bit. Yeah, that's not what you get with this guitar. It's a really good guitar. But the reason why I'm debating on the quality of this guitar is we think it might be the actual guitar that people were playing at NAMM. Maybe for the fact that it came like this, that, or it could have been like a B stock kind of thing. But regardless, even of these small cosmetic issues, like, it's a perfectly great guitar. Like, I would recommend it. I would tell people to buy it. I think this is like a good price point, because if I recall, this price of this guitar is $700. Not the cheapest guitar, but not the most expensive guitar, but I think it's still a pretty good quality guitar. I mean, if you really want to, I think some things you could probably upgrade is maybe the actual floaty rolls, because I know people like to have the actual the original and not the special or whatever. And then if you want to upgrade to like locking tuners, or personally I would do it so I don't have to keep winding it, I would just get the D'Addario locking trim, and then as soon as you lock it and start tuning it up, it'll cut the strings for you and makes changing strings really easy. But otherwise, yeah, I think this is a great guitar. I mean, I think my friend got a great guitar. I'd like to thank Jackson for giving him that opportunity for that. Yeah, it's solid. I really recommend it. If you could get one without these slight cosmetic things, I mean, even if you had it, I mean, some people would probably mind. I personally don't care, as long as it's not like the whole finish is ripped off or whatever. But yeah, great guitar. Hopefully you guys like this review. There should be more to come. The next review I should be doing is on my my new PRS. It's the Sweetwater limited edition stealth model, I believe. Don't remember. All I know is it's gray and it was on sale and I got it. But yeah, that'll probably be my next review on this channel. So if anything, I'll leave links to Jackson's website and whatnot. Want to thank Intune Guitar Picks for giving me the opportunity. Since we're talking about endorsements, yeah, it's my little Instagram logo. I'm not sure if you can see it, but they give you picks. It's great picks. I like it. Really comfortable. You get like 100 per pack. So I've been in a lot of bands and I'm always getting picks for them, so I have like hundreds of picks. But yeah, I'll leave links to everything below. If you guys like the video, comment, share, subscribe, like. Yeah, thanks for everything, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.